But how about the tongues of angels? I think we had a question on this from 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 1.
Yes.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels,
Hmm.
but have not love, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Here it clearly says that there are tongues of angels as well, like languages of angels that
Yes.
they would specially
Yes.
speak. Is it the right understanding or interpretation of this part, verse, brother?
Well, first of all, let us understand that even if there are angelic languages,
Yeah.
there is nothing in scripture to suggest that they are unintelligible gibberish,
Right.
that they are meaningless utterances. Okay, and even the language of angels is intended to communicate something. Okay, and so even in the language of angels, the gospel could be communicated, or anything that the Spirit of God wanted to convey to the church could be communicated. And so, edification happened only when people understood it. It is beside the point whether the language is heavenly or earthly, like I said at the very outset. The only point is, do they actually speak angelic language, and is there an interpreter, or do people understand it when they are being given out in that form? Of course, last week we did point out at the fact that Paul wasn't indicating at all that there is some people in the Corinthian assembly or elsewhere who actually spoke in the language of angels, but he was only using some hyperbolic expressions to show how not having love and having the highest attainments in spiritual gifts would not really prove a man's integrity or superiority, or in fact, if he didn't have love, whatever else he might have had is all in vain. That was Paul's point. Okay, so even if you had the highest attainment of speaking the gift of tongues in angelic language, that without love was in vain.
Right.
That was Paul's point. We understand that the similar hyperboles are used all through in that chapter in many verses until verses 3 or 4. We also find Paul saying, even if I wreck mountains, if I had the power to wreck mountains, and if I didn't have love. So we would certainly not imagine that Paul was going around wrecking mountains when he said that, right?
Right.
Right.